A Team Mustard Face production.
Chester was actually friends with my brother, so that's how I knew him.
He was barking at me and foaming by the mouth, and I
So, are you the man behind the slaughter?
So, the case of the Buchanan Bowler. Tell me about that.
Oh, that one. Oh, that was so long ago. So horrible what he did to all those people. So the Buchanan Bowler happened a few years ago now. As of recording this, I understand this is a part of a larger project.
Right.
So the Buchanan Bowler, it may sound stupid, but this is a small town, you know? A lot of stupid stuff happens here. This guy, the Buchanan Bowler, he killed people with a comically oversized bowling ball.
A comically large bowling ball.
Yeah, it was straight out of a comic book or a movie or something like that. I swear, it was like a massive bowling ball, like way bigger than your average one. I don't know how he was able to lift it. Guy was like pretty skinny or like more towards average. You'd think he would need like massive arms or like a upper body strength to be able to lift it. But he killed these people. It was like a whole massacre. He killed a lot of people. He did it by dropping the bowling ball on them. So that means he had to lift it over top of his head and then drop it on them. That type of thing really messed these people's lives up forever.
Man, where's that guy at? We've been waiting for like an hour.
Sorry I'm late. I was at my other job. You gotta work 2 jobs these days. Money's tight.
The injuries sustained to the victims. I'd like to know how they suffered.
Injuries sustained to the victims. So, how he killed people was dropping a very large, you could even say comically oversized bowling ball on these people, like right onto their head. They sustained a lot, the ones that survived anyway, sustained a lot of blunt force trauma to the head, very severe. We're talking cracks and fractures on the skull, mainly around the eye sockets, the nose, and then the frontal lobe. They definitely did suffer brain damage from that. It's not good. Suffered hemorrhaging, blood clots, loss of vision, loss of sense of smell because of nervous damage.
I don't understand how someone could do that to another human being, you know? I mean, even if it was quite comical, I mean, that's still murder, and that's still really just violent.
Oh yeah. I would like to see the psychiatric report. Unfortunately, I was not provided access to that. It was a personal therapist that took care of him.
Man, where is that guy? We've been waiting for people all day.
Sorry,
what the hell?
I'm late again.
Oh.
I'm right here, yep. Alright, what is it you wanted to ask me again?
I'd like to ask you about... I understand you're a professional psychologist, yes?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's me.
About this Buchanan Bowler, I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of him, alright, yeah. A few years ago.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I had to work with him.
What do you suppose was going on in his head?
Yeah, he lied about pretty much everything in his childhood. He definitely was bullied. He definitely was, like, misled into believing that what he was doing with his parents, you know, all the drinking and stuff, was a good thing. It definitely wasn't. They did a lot of stuff behind his back. His friends did a lot of stuff behind his back. He definitely didn't have a lot of good relationships. That definitely contributed to what he did. After looking at his brain scans, I can determine that he had several mental illnesses that definitely were caused by events in his childhood. Let's just start off with some basic questions. How about your past, your childhood maybe?
I'm here with the childhood friend of the Buchanan Bowler. I'd like you to tell me about Chester in his childhood.
My mother took very good care of me. His parents neglected him. All the kids liked to talk to me. He didn't have much friends. I was never bullied. I was If anything, you could say I was the one doing the bullying. He got picked on a lot. My parents were very cool. They let me drink with them. We got turned up. He was a very heavy drinker. I think he got into his parents' alcohol and they kind of just never cared.
Did you enjoy any sports growing up, perhaps?
Bowling. He did dabble in bowling, but he did not take it very seriously and never got to be very strong as a bowler. He would get very mad, and when he was mad, he would throw things, whatever he was holding, whether it be a pencil or a notebook or even his bowling ball.
So, we've talked a bit about your childhood life and your extracurriculars now. Did you have any further education that wasn't really mentioned in the file I have?
I went to college,
Mm-hmm.
not for very long.
I am here with a friend from college of Chester, and I'd like you to tell me a little bit about how he was around that time.
Yeah, I can do that.
I dropped out about 2 months in.
He dropped out of college only 2 months into it.
What did you not enjoy about it? Did you not enjoy the classes or the people there?
The fluid schedules.
He really liked the fluid schedule of college, which makes sense because he didn't abide by any sort of schedule in his life, whether it be a work schedule or even a schedule to take his pills or anything. Really, he didn't like to abide by any of those.
A lot of the professors did not rub me the right way.
He got into scuffles with our professors a lot of the time. I remember one time our psychology professor was actually talking about the negative effects of horror video games on the brain, and Chester just went apeshit on him. It was unintelligible. It was really strange.
What did you major in?
I was undecided.
Chester had a really strange major. The thing he wanted to major in was the physics of very large bowling balls falling.
Your college, I'm aware, had a bowling team. Were you on it?
I tried out.
I
They
don't.
said I was too good for them.
Chester did try out for the bowling team numerous times, but the coach kept turning him away because Chester thought that bumpers were a thing in the traditional, the normal rules of bowling. Chester would refuse to bowl without bumpers, and they just couldn't accept him for that. And Chester would always rage when he failed the tryouts, and he would throw his bowling balls.
What did you do after college? It's been a while since then.
Been picking up odd jobs, mowing lawns, breaking leaves, pretty much anything that they'll pay me to do. I never had a full-time lockdown job.
After college, Chester, just after he dropped out, he just didn't do anything. I remember I tried to keep in touch with him because I was honestly a little bit worried about his mental state, and he just never did anything. He didn't have any sort of job. He lived with his mother, and he did mow her lawn and rake her leaves, but he didn't get any money for that. That was his rent, essentially. He did eventually get a job at some point. I think it was a construction job, something of the sort.
Did you ever have any personal or intimate relationships with anybody you worked with or met while working? Anything
Yes, there were a few women. They weren't serious relationships.
As far as I know, Chester never really had any sort of relationship romantically with anyone.
So, I understand not many of these relationships really worked out. How intimate did you get with these people, if you don't mind me asking?
It never got very intimate. I'll be honest with you, I was trying to get it there, but just never seemed to happen.
As far as I know, Chester is still a virgin. I don't think Chester got very intimate with any of those women. I think he maybe just got a little too close for comfort.
Yeah, we've received some reports from some anonymous victims of the Buchanan Bowler. Not saying it's from you exactly, that somebody who fit your description pretty well was like really trying to like poke and prod at them. It's like you're trying to get under their skin, like almost like begging them.
I did not beg. I only asked 17 times. That's it.
How did you know Chester?
I did not know him, but
No?
he did come up behind me and trying to talk to me.
You know, when I was walking down the alleyway late at night and he went to go like tap me on my shoulder and I was like, oh, it's just Chester, right? You know, the guy who I've worked with for like 3 years now.
So Chester was actually friends with my brother, so that's how I knew him. He basically, they were like out together, and Chester called me and he was like, hey, your brother left me. Could you come like pick me up? My car's at your house. Like, I just need to get home.
Chester is a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And all I know about him is that he really likes bowling.
Where were you coming from when Chester chased you?
I was coming from the club. I was on my way home.
I understand he threw a comically large bowling ball at your head.
He did, but he missed, luckily.
And he had a bowling ball in his hand. I got really nervous, so I started running, right? And he was barking at me and foaming by the mouth, and
I went to the park that they were at, and it was kind of weird because it was like the lights were out at the park and stuff, and he had a bowling ball, pretty like large bowling ball too.
He took a big ass bowling ball and tried to chuck it at my head, but I was too quick.
You're too quick for him.
I was too quick and Slim Shady.
And then when I saw on the news that some serial killer was chasing people with bowling balls, I knew it was Chester.
I don't know. Like, there's so many unanswered things that really need to be answered, and it's just an issue.
I think it's because I have this beautiful head of hair.
So, are you the man behind the slaughter?
Yes. Keep that in. Keep that in too.
Yeah, keep that one in as well. Put a very obnoxious bleep over it.
You're a
Hello?
Sort of like, try to...
Nathan doesn't know what to say. Nathan
I'm waiting for you to
I like the
talk.
focus brought it.
Nathan has never had sex.
Nobody under the
Nathan doesn't know what sex is.
I only have 17 questions.
How do you know Chester? Absolutely.
Yeah, his name's Chester, right?
Yeah. Wait.
Am I not supposed to know? But he tried to kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He asked you on a date?
In a sense, yes.
So, are you related to those other guys that have been around?
How did you know?